Hey there, my friend. You are watching or listening to The Aaron Chase Show, where we chat all things intentional living and seeking that ever elusive balance that is sometimes difficult to achieve in our busy and overwhelming lives. So, I'm your host, Aaron Chase, and I want to welcome you to this live video and to the replay. If you're catching this replay on YouTube or if you are catching it in a podcast player, we upload the audio versions to the podcast player as well. And this month's theme, we are continuing on. This month's theme is along the lines of productivity. I think that part of intentional living and part of the things that I love to share and talk about to help you live your most intentional life, to help you be an intention seeker. I love that phrase so much. I think that it's something that I am on a journey and mission to do better of is seeking intention. And I'll continue to share more about that throughout the shows that we have here and the podcasts that we're doing. And I think that this month I wanted to focus on routines and habits because I think they're very foundational for living an intention, not attention, intention seeking life. And so we talked about morning routines, and I shared, I got a little ranty a couple weeks ago, talking about morning routines and how they are often taught by people who don't have children or people who are not morning people. So being that I am not a morning person and that I have 4 kids, I like to think that I can speak to having a morning routine, and you don't have to get ranty about, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't have any kids. I got kids, 4 of them. But I think there's some things that I've done in our morning routine to make it really easy for them, setting them up for success. And also then, that sets myself up for success. So go back and listen to that. I think there's a live videos tab here on the page. I think that's the case now. If not, click on the videos tab. And that was from, I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Last week we talked about, I was in the kitchen and we talked about mealtime routines and how important those are, and just these 3 layers that have to happen and have to flow well in your kitchen in order for dinner to be a success, in order for you to have that time to connect with your people. So those are the 2 episodes that we've talked about routines and habits thus far this month. I have a new theme for June. I'll get into that next week. I believe June 1st is Tuesday, so that's perfect timing for a new theme for June. But today I want to share with you the one thing that I don't ever skip, ever. Because when I do, everything just sort of, I don't want to say falls apart because that feels a little dramatic, but it really, really does. It really does. It's really important that we stay one step ahead. I say that phrase a lot. I speak about it in terms of dinner prep. I speak about it in terms of just life prep and this sort of intentions. This is it. If you want to seek intention in your life, you have to be one step ahead. And this one thing that I don't ever skip, ever, is this. And I'm going to share some examples with you. It's planning tomorrow, today. Okay. So in the kitchen, I say, stay one step ahead, start the slow cooker in the morning, put the spaghetti sauce on the counter next to the stove so that you know that you're making, spaghetti, or maybe you're doing ravioli with some marinara sauce or whatever it is you're having. Like you set yourself up by deciding what's for dinner in the morning and giving yourself a visual cue, a scent cue in the case of the slow cooker. Maybe just put the Instant Pot on the counter if you're going to put something in the Instant Pot. Like set yourself up for success. That's what it means for dinner time. But the same thing applies to things that are going on in your life and in your business. And so I think probably the things that I'll share most today are along the lines of just things that I do in business, but it totally can work if you're the president of the PTO, or you're in charge of an event committee, or like whatever things you have. We all have work going on in our lives. It doesn't necessarily mean like online business work or school work or, whatever it is. This is what I want to share. Planning your day the night before. Like, it just has to happen, because there's actually tons of research on this too. But I just wanted to break it down very simply, because when you plan what's going to happen the next day, what happens to your sleep? That's it right there. When you know what you're doing the next day, the number of things that swirl in your brain when you're going to bed dramatically reduces. Okay? And I know, I still think about things at night. Don't get me wrong. This isn't going to eliminate that, but it's going to cut down on the chatter of things that, oh, I need to remember to do this. Are you going to remember to do that? No, you're not. Like, at least I'm not. You probably aren't either. We have so many things going on. And at the top of this, it's the busy, overwhelming life, right? Like, this is your busy, overwhelming life. So if you can take 5 minutes and plan out what you're going to do the next day, literally life changing. So actually, I'm going to extrapolate this for you. And I suggest that if you really want to get intentional, or if you want to be more productive, I think you can take that further. So yes, what am I doing tomorrow? I can tell you right now what I'm doing tomorrow. I've actually already planned it out. I have a video shoot tomorrow and a video interview. So I'm batched those things together. Like, I already know that that's what my entire day tomorrow is going to involve. So taking it from knowing what you're doing tomorrow to taking and planning your week out in advance. Now, I know that's a little tricky to do. Things evolve quickly. They evolve just as fast around here as they do at your house or in your business. And so planning what's happening tomorrow and then planning what's happening this next week. And I actually go to the month level and to the quarter level. Now, those are a little bit different. Like, I can't plan out exactly what's going to be happening the last week of July, but I know what needs to happen before the end of, this, I guess the end of June, if we're talking about the end of Q2, right? So planning things out kind of in these sort of time, phase blocks maybe, I think is super crucial, because when you go from high, like things that you need to plan out, all the way down to what needs to happen tomorrow, when you can get into that discipline and that habit, it makes a world of difference. So planning what I'm going to do tomorrow literally takes 2 or 3 minutes. Planning what I'm going to do for the week. We actually set up one of our team calls is Friday afternoons to go over everything that needs to happen the following week. So we're taking time Friday afternoon to plan what's going on the next week. We used to actually do that Mondays, and we switched it to Fridays because we needed a better look ahead. And if anybody wanted to get a jump on things over the weekend, then they could, right? So planning for tomorrow just takes a couple minutes. Planning out, kind of roughly slotting in things that are going to happen in the next week can take, 30 minutes, maybe tops, less than that, depending on what you have going on. And who's involved in your world and in your life. And then the monthly, those we do in hour-long sort of planning sessions. That's along the work front. Now, as far as life with my people goes, we have one of our Sunday meals, whether it's the lunch meal or the dinner meal, depending on kind of how our day looks. On Sundays, we go over everything that's happening for the week. Who has what practice, who has what meeting, who has what appointment, who has what happening, who needs to be where, is what we do on Sundays. It's just a rough look so that no one's surprised that they're supposed to be somewhere, or that they forgot a uniform, or whatever. So we very much do the same thing when it comes to sort of like working together, the 6 of us here, and making sure that everything is covered in a sense. So we do that on Sundays. On the rare occasion that'll happen on a Monday evening when we have a Monday meal, but that's not very often. But ultimately, my goal is before we start the week, everybody's got a clear picture of what activities and things are going on. So that's just to give you a touch of like, that's how it looks at sort of the life level, I guess. But I think that it's super important to be planning ahead, because it helps cut down, ultimately, it helps cut down that mental chatter, the things that swirl around in your brain, to keep you up at night, really, ultimately is what it is. I want to share with you really quickly three tools that I use that help me to do this. Okay. The first is this. This is the tomorrow setup. I actually keep this upstairs in my room. This is where I dump things, and I actually end up theming the pages a little bit differently. This is I guess, I don't know, medical is maybe not the right word, health related things. This is things that are going on. We're moving to a new office space. Like right now, I was over there this morning. And so these are other things that I need to take care of before we can fully move in. So these are the types of things that I think about, at night. So that's why I keep this upstairs. As far as the weekly planning goes, this is my favorite thing to use. This is my Sunday setup. These are all Tearpads. They come, it's paper, and they have a magnet if you wanted to, put them on the fridge. This one is broken down by just different areas of life, things that things that need to happen in the kitchen, parenting things, social things, of course, business. This week it's all moving, meal plan, and then errands and expenses and income, just keeping everything. This sets me up for success, and this also helps me to make sure that everybody knows where they're going. This is a key part of our family meetings that we do on Sundays. And then Steve and I have a regular meeting to go over sort of the money piece. That's just what he and I do. Okay, last is this one. This is super important. I've shared this setup with you before. This is our daily setup. And this is it. You could just use this to set yourself up for tomorrow. And the idea here is what are the big three things you need to do, and then breaking the priority 1, 2, and 3, and then breaking those down into smaller tasks. I rarely come across a task that doesn't have several parts. Rarely. There's always a B, and a C to this particular thing that needs to happen. And so being able to break it down and clearly see, okay, I can do these things, make sure I get them in the right order, that kind of thing. And then, of course, appointments, calls, and errands. If you do this every afternoon for tomorrow, just takes 5 minutes to fill this in, even less, 3, 4, 5 tops. This is going to massively increase your productivity and your living with intention, these things. That's why I have these available. I have them in our store, which I believe is linked here. I'm using another new setup as I do here with Facebook Live, so I'm not exactly sure. Let me see if I can try this. I think that I can do this. There's something that gets featured. Do you see something there? Did something come up on the screen maybe? I don't really know what's happening. This is a new deal. I'm actually going to tap the other 2 Tearpads. If you're interested in these, then you can check them out. Oh, it looks like it only features 1 at a time. Now I know how this works. Cool. Facebook is changing all the time. I'm streaming this live on Facebook. If you see this on another video streamer, then it probably won't look right to you. But let me just share these 3 really quickly here for you. These are fantastic. I have them in my shop. We'll mail them to you today. So anyways, just helping you stay on track with your journey of intentional living. And these are routines that they're so second nature, I don't even think about them. Of course, anytime you're setting up something new or trying a new routine or whatnot, it does take a little bit of practice and a little bit of discipline. But once you get into the flow of just planning out what you're doing tomorrow, do that for a couple of days or weeks, and then plan out what you're doing the next week, and then, the next month, or however far out you want to sort of extrapolate that. But it's so essential to be planning ahead. And as you know, my acronym for intentional living, or maybe you don't, if you're just catching this for the first time, is PIE. I love PIE. I happen to also be a food blogger. So PIE is an acronym for plan, implement, and evaluate. And those 3 things are crucial for living a life of intention and living with the purpose and living and leaning into the things that you're called to do in your day-to-day life. And so the planning part of this, the P, the plan of PI, my PI acronym, that's what this is. That is everything that we've broken down here, this sort of like one step ahead concept, thought, theory, whatever you want to call it, is so, so, so important. And literally, this is just how I operate. Like, I don't, of course, I lay in bed and think about different things, but I don't fret about what's going to happen tomorrow. I've set up these 3, sometimes it's 5, major priorities depending on the day, depending on how much or what my day looks like. It just happens. And I do think that is the key reason that so much swirls around here, and we're able to do so much to help connect you with things that are going to help you with saving money on groceries, with freezer meals, and all the different things that we have around here. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, is just being that one step ahead. And the one thing that I just don't ever skip it. Because when I do, then it just gets ugly and messy and it's not worth it. So that's what I got for you. I think that we need to wrap this episode. So really, the PI acronym, we just landed on the plan piece of this. As far as think, feel, take action, I want you to think ahead. I want you to feel sort of peace of mind, really. Just, okay, I got that. I can do that tomorrow. And then taking action is trying it. Writing down the couple things that you're going to do tomorrow, today, whatever type of planning system you use, digital, paper, doesn't matter. So that's that. And then, of course, if you want to grab our Tearpads from the shop, we have those available as well. Excuse me, I think you can maybe see them. I'm not sure. Anywho, I'm not sure how this live product thing works just quite yet, but we're figuring it out. So let's wrap this up. Please subscribe to the Erin Chase Show wherever you want to watch. We are live here on Tuesdays, normally at 2 o'clock Central Time. I had a little schedule snafu, so I had to hop in here at noon today. Of course, we will upload the replay video to our YouTube channel and the audio version to all of our podcast players that usually releases on Friday mornings. So that's what I got for you for this third routines episode. Go back and listen to the other ones. They're just short and sweet. I just want to just give you ideas and help you think about things differently and try something new to try in your world so that you can live with the intention that you wish to live in your life. All right, my friends, that's it for this episode. It's bye for now, and I will see you again soon.